Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn energy reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do resonate. If it does not, leave the parts that do not, as those may be meant for someone else. All right, I have my Wisdom of the Oracle cards, and we're going to look at what you may possibly be struggling with, what you may need to look at, and possible future energies. Also, there will be a link down below where there will be an extended for this reading if you feel this resonates for you, if you want to check that out. And we're going to dive a little deeper into the future energies and any other things that I feel might need some more clarification. All right, what you may be struggling with is that deep knowing. What you may need to look at, we have no place like home, and possible future energies. For Capricorn, we have blessed. This one's coming out a lot for Capricorn, and I like that because I feel like I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising, which I want to say happy birthday to those of you who have a birthday today. That Capricorn is finally coming into their own energy, and they're really focusing on themselves, definitely by the comments that I'm seeing from everyone, that you guys are really starting to focus on yourself, and you're starting to walk away from that negativity and those situations and people that you feel are draining you. And I love hearing that. You're getting yourself into those routines that are helping you. I had someone this morning, I read a message, and they said that they started meditation. And I responded that I started doing stretching in the morning before I start my day, and that's really helped me a lot mentally and physically. It's really put me in a more positive state of mind, and I feel like that's where Capricorn is definitely headed, because you are taking control of your life and you are doing those things that are helping you to feel blessed. Bottom of the deck, we have thinker, thinking about those changes. So what you may be struggling with is that deep knowing, and is that deep knowing as to what is going to make you feel blessed, what is going to work for you, what are those changes that you have to make. And what you need to look at is there's no place like home, is that comfort within yourself, and that place where you feel you can recharge. And that comfort within yourself is that you know that you're making those choices that are the best for you. Sometimes we don't do that, but then we realize, okay, I have to make some changes that work best for me. All right, so let's get some tarot. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, there's a link down below. I forget if I said that or not. All right, deep knowing. What makes you happy? That's exactly what I said before we even started, is struggling with what is it that truly makes you happy, right? Not those materialistic things. Yes, those things can make you happy, but it's not for the long term. But that deep knowing within yourself is that happiness within you, that you're making the choices that are best for you. Eight of Pentacles, which is a new way of doing things, a new way of seeing things, but also taking a closer look at what truly makes you happy. Sometimes we think things will make us happy, but really inside they don't. Struggling with judgment, hearing that message, hearing the call, sometimes we get so busy doing other things and we have all of this static around us that we're missing the message. We're missing those signs, and there's something that you're not hearing. There's something that you are not connecting to. I almost feel like, are you doing it on purpose, or do you not realize that you're doing it? Sometimes we purposely don't really want to have that deep knowing. We don't want to be that thinker. We don't really want to process things, and so we find other ways to ignore that, right? To get away from that. But I feel like that's something that you have to look, because that's part of the process of feeling blessed. That's part of the process of changing your life and making those decisions that work best for you. We have to do that thinking. Death card, what do you need to look at? We have Death card, which can also represent Scorpio, can represent that you're holding on to something that is holding you back. And that's what I said over here, is that you're not hearing the message, right? That you're not really knowing what it is that makes you happy. but it also represents transformation and change. We have the Seven of Swords. Are you fooling yourself? Are you convincing yourself that you're happy in a situation? Sometimes we get ourselves in situations, it could be a job, it could be a relationship. We're like, no, I'm happy. But you know inside, right? That deep knowing that you're really not happy. Or you're in a phase of your life where you're saying, yeah, I'm happy, I'm good. But really that deep knowing is that you're really not feeling happy. And is that Seven of Swords for you? Nine of Swords. What are you stressing about? What are you worrying about? Right? What is that anxiety? I feel like you have anxiety and you're staying up at night and you're worrying about things, but I feel it's because you're fooling yourself about something and you're holding on to something. And all this is very relates very strongly in the no place like home, is that it's almost like your home is not being your recharge zone. It's not giving you that comfort that it should. Over here we have blessed for future energy, working on that. You have to work on that blessed, right? That feeling of contentment, that feeling like feeling fortunate, feeling happy. You have to work on that, because if you're not feeling that, if you're fooling yourself over here, how do you work on that, right? Thinking about that, processing, working thing, making choices, making decisions, right? Two of Swords. Then we have the Ace of Swords. It's a new thought process, right? It's a new way of thinking, because over here it wasn't working. But over here you're fooling yourself. But over here it's like, okay, what's the reality of it? What do I need to change? What do I need to work on? Bottom of the deck. When you change that, I feel like there's an opportunity that's coming in for you to see what it is you need to change, or for you to see what truly makes you happy. Sometimes we just don't want to think about that, and we think, oh, that's just the way that life is. So we just accept it, but inside we're really having this, we're fooling ourselves, and we're having this anxiety and stress because we're not really feeling that fulfillment. Yes, there are times in life where we go through those situations where it's a struggle and that things are not, life is not always rainbows and unicorns. But I feel like when we have fewer moments of those and we have more moments where we feel blessed, that life becomes more full. Life becomes more fulfilling. All right, so let's get some of these cards. Close it out. What messages do we have to close this out? And then we're going to, in the extended, we're going to take a little deeper dive on that future energies. I'd say victory. Yes, I love that. Victory. That's what we all want, is a victory. A victory to hear the message, a victory to figure out what makes us happy. Are we surrounding ourselves with people and situations that make us happy, or that there are those situations or people that we can recharge with, right? That if we have to work at a job that we don't really like, or deal with a situation that we don't really like, we have that to go to recharge ourselves. Victory. What does that represent to you? Victory. What does that represent? The sun. Love that. Number one, the sun. A new beginning, a new start. What makes you happy? Over here, I feel like that goes back to that Three of Cups. And then let's get one more to close this out. Rest and rejuvenation. And that's what I was saying in the very beginning about that person who said that they meditate. And that's what looks like, that's what that person is doing. When we have that quiet time to ourselves where we're able to think, right? To get into that deep knowing, to be that thinker, that overall energy. When we have that time to ourselves to rest and recharge our own batteries, that's when the clarity starts to come. That's when the Nine of Swords starts to clear up and let go. And that's when the solutions of those things that we need to do start to come into place, and we're like, oh, why didn't I think of that earlier, right? That's when the opportunities come in, right? That's when those answers start to come to you, when you have that time to rest and rejuvenate and focus on those things, right? To get into that deep knowing. All right, let's get a star dragons, because I love my star dragons. Inspiration. Inspiration's been coming out a lot with the star dragons lately for my Capricorn readings. And like, what inspires you? What motivates you? Taking inspiration from any area, right? Maybe somebody who already has gone through what you've gone through, or somebody who has achieved something, or whatever that inspiration may be. I feel like that could be the thing, the light bulb that goes off for you, that really gives you that clarity on that new way of thinking and solving things and approaching things. All right. As I said below, as I said before, there will be a link down below. If this reading resonates with you, or you'd like to hear a little bit more about it, go a little deeper. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.